That's right. Greetings, fellow Armchair Imagineers. A very schedulally confused Tiki here. This was supposed to happen like 2 hours ago, and little old me, I fell asleep. Isn't that great? Isn't that just like awesome hosting duties on my part? So, because of that, we are missing Joker's Wild, and we are also missing Dash Haver, but we have three of the final five. Is it the three of the final five that's going to make the final three? That'd be a weird coincidence. We'll see. We have Ace Astro. How you doing, Ace?
I'm not too bad. How about you tonight?
I've been better, as you know. We have Goofyyukyuk.
Hello.
We have Outbound.
Hello there.
And to make the final call after Team TMNT and the jury makes their pick for final three, it's Space.
Hello. The pressure's on.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, guys. So this is mostly mainly a results show, like 90% results. We're not really going to get too deep into the reviews. You guys already have some good written reviews for the artist. I will provide mine when I get a chance to read that thing and sit down and actually type out some solid feedback on it. Suffice to say, though, guys, with the artist, one thing I'm really impressed by is everyone's ability to just dive in there and just get one part of the project done really well. And I feel like everyone very much stepped up to the plate. Once again, it's like a well-oiled machine of different people having different roles. But if one of those roles didn't get completed fully, then the whole project wouldn't have shined as much as it did.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely made my job as a project leader a lot easier, knowing that everybody had everything taken care of.
Yeah. And as far as the artist goes in terms of choice, I got to admit, that was literally the first thing that Joker's asked about. So I was like, okay, Joker's is probably going to push this. And I will say, I'm not the biggest fan of the artist as a movie. I see its merits, but to me, it feels more like an homage than it does like an actual full-blown narrative to me. It's gimmicky, if anything else. Having said that, I think it works beautifully as a ride, and it's like a very unconventional ride where, you really wouldn't think the rise and fall of a silent movie star would make for compelling dark ride fodder, but what you guys do with it, it really stands out.
Yeah, I was the same way. I definitely would not have thought of that movie first for a ride, but Joker's was pushing it hard and everything, so it was like I was on board, and I think it worked really well.
Yeah. And Ace, of course, you did the technology, which I thought was really on point with the fake bus bar. That was really well done.
Yeah.
So even though it was it was a trackless ride, there was some creativity points there. I don't know. I really think that everything flowed together, in terms of the scenes going from black and white to color, and kind of the highs and lows, the happy moments, the darker moments. I love the queue. The queue's got a lot of great details. One detail I particularly liked was, all the fan letters to George Valentine, and then all the fan letters to the dog.
Yeah, that was great.
It kind of reminded me, oh yeah, the dog was super popular when that movie came out. I forgot about that. Yeah, Dragon, these fellas, they suffered through a case of my narcolepsy. You know what that's like. That's what was wrong with me. Space, any thoughts on the artist?
I really liked it. I thought that they, it makes it a little bit more challenging to pick the finalists when they all divided it up equally. So, but overall, I thought that their organization was good. I thought the different parks was actually a good idea, especially because it's like a French, movie. To put it in Paris, I thought was a really good idea. Sunset Boulevard was also a solid choice, and DCA too.
The only thing with DCA is that I question if the Monsters Inc. show building would have room for a fully trackless dark ride.
Yeah, that's why I was. That was probably my least favorite of the three areas, just for that reason, actually.
Which
Just because
ironically is,
yeah.
I feel like DCA is like especially that Hollywood area, like that's the area that needs the boost the most out of the three.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I measured the areas out on like Google Maps, and they're all the exact same dimensions. Pretty much, there's like a few difference, but if it has to be expanded, I think in every case the show building could just be built up a bit more. There's enough
Yeah.
empty space around those areas.
You guys want to know a fun fact about Disney's Hollywood Studios?
Always.
Always.
Okay, I just discovered this now via a group chat that I'm in on Facebook. So apparently not even the pandemic can stop Disney's Hollywood Studios from installing a fucking Mulan preview.
Wait, for real?
Yes.
Amazing.
I'm just like, wow, Disney. Just that's awesome. I honestly kind of admire the cojones on them. Oh boy. All right, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and go kind of like Space. I know that you have things to say about all 5 of the people here, but I'm gonna go ahead and do my little soliloquy about them as well. So I'm gonna start with the people that are not here. So Dash Haber, definitely Dash Haber was an interesting case this season because I feel like he didn't really come into his own until the big project where he became project leader. However, having said that, if there's like one single project that's gonna like win you the game based on how you performed in it, it's probably Dash Haber's project leadership in that particular project. And then since then he has done some solid stuff. He designed the queue. The only problem with Dash Haber is that he was very absent in the last part of the project. And so I feel like even though the queue was solid and everything, Dragon says is probably Dragon says probably charge $30 a seat. So I definitely think that Dash Haber is an interesting case of someone who's had really, really big highlight moments throughout the season. I don't necessarily know if their entire storyline from beginning to end, like when we were weighing out the debate on who should go between Nigel and Dash last time, the debate was definitely on the fact that Nigel had played the better pre-merge game, but Dash had played the better post-merge game. So I don't know. I don't know what to think about Dash right now. We'll see what happens. Finally, we have Jokers, and Jokers has just been playing a hell of a game this season, and I'm very, very sad that he's not here. I know for a fact that he, unlike Ace, is like not looking forward to cats. But of course, Jokers is a constant professional. He has been in the final project once or twice before. He has won once. So you guys are looking at the possibility of a 2-time winner if Joker makes it into the finals. But most importantly, he has lost at this very position right before the final project at least 3 times, if not more. So if he loses before the final project, it's definitely going to be kind of like a part of his legacy, if you will. Let's see. Then we have Outbound, and Outbound is Outbound. I mean, what do you want me to say? Outbound's been dominating the game from day one with, not only with insane presentation, but with outside the box ideas, excellent teamwork, being able to incorporate multiple people in his presentation styles. Of course, the bold social move he made a couple rounds ago to save Ace. Just all stuff kind of in Outbound's wheelhouse of things he's used to get him to this point. We'll see if they pay off. And then finally we have Ace Astro, and Ace, I'm gonna go ahead and call you, like, because we know how many other pots you have on your plate right now. I think in spite of the fact that you're maybe not as active as some of the other competitors, you're definitely the most what's the word I'm looking for? You're definitely the most dedicated in terms of just like, in spite of all the other stuff going on in your life, you never hold back. You never you never try to go for the easy way out. You're always pushing yourself in these projects. So yeah, it's definitely a close race, whoever gets there. And I really do think that, when you look at it this way, guys, Goofy, you've been a fantastic player. I really feel like you've been sort of a big outside of the box presence from day one. I think you've maybe had the best social game out of anyone this season. And you kind of put your money where your mouth is, and you come up with some excellent projects and excellent leadership. So yeah. Bottom line is, all 5 of the final 5 absolutely deserve to go on to the final 3. And there are like ironic things about if any of them don't make the final 3. So Ace, of course, if you don't make the final 3, you're missing out on that Dream Cats project, and that's going to be heartbreaking. Goofy, if you don't make the final 3, I mean, that's just like kind of frankly a fan favorite being taken down right before its prime. Outbound, if you don't make the final 3, I think there's going to be outrage. And Dash, if Dash doesn't make the final 3, I think that's a lesson to where it's like, you don't, like, even if you have a standout performance in another project, you need the consistency. You can't just coast on one performance. And then finally we have Jokers, and like I said, Jokers, if he doesn't make the finals, then he's going to slide right back into his previous legacy of being the guy who, always the bridesmaid, never the bride, in terms of, he's always right there. He's always right at the end, but he can never quite make the final project. All right, guys, you ready to start revealing people?
Not really.
Outbound, how much time do you have left?
About 10 minutes.
Okay, well then I'm going to go ahead and reveal the jury pick first. And
Normal time.
let's see. Ironically enough, the jury was. I gave the jury a vote of for them to have a first pick and a second pick, and their picks came up as Jokers and Outbound. But Outbound unanimously was the first pick. So Outbound, congratulations, you're officially in the final 3.
Yay. Thank you, jury. And all right, let's hopefully this Cats project isn't too bad.
Well, I'm excited to see what your presentation can do with Cats, if anything else. Okay, next up, Team TMNT's pick. This is a pick that we've had since a couple days before the actual project came out. I've been following this guy closely throughout the season. I think with his work ethics and his sense of humor and everything, I feel like he's really, really made a name for himself, and he's worked hard basically all project. He's got the best social game of the season. I feel like he's won PO MVP more than any other person this season, though I'd have to go back and fact check it. And just genuinely, just all around, an incredibly reliable player. We picked Goofyyukyuk.
Thank you, Team TMNT. I'm really excited for the finals.
All right, Space.
Here we go. So I have the difficult decision of picking one out of the remaining 3. And
Why don't you tell us your 5th place first? Build up the suspense.
Okay. All right. So I actually had written out a little thing because if it was at 7, I wasn't able to make it, but yada yada. So my 5th place is going to be Dash. And I don't say that as a negative or anything. I just think that his participation in the last rounds, I mean, I hope he's okay because he hasn't been on since Monday or so. And that's kind of...
I do hope he's okay, yeah.
That's kind of abnormal, but I mean, I think he would understand more than anyone that, like, you had 4 other people on the team who really contributed. I mean, he contributed the queue too, so I'm not saying that he didn't do anything. He finished that on Saturday, but I just think that for the final project here, for me to pick him over Ace or Jokers, I think would like kind of raise eyebrows, just because like he hasn't been here. So
Right. And
I
then
think
and then
that was a
Space, you
good-
can go
yeah.
ahead and read off your soliloquy.
Oh yeah, yeah. I had written this out, but I'll basically summarize by saying like, so I have there's a crux here. So the cat literally is out of the bag because the next project is cats, and I think my decision probably would have been lined up with what the jury was if it wasn't for the next project. So it had to make me go back and research really like Ace and Joker's style throughout the season and how they contributed throughout. I think for Ace, I think he leading Project 9, which in Mickey fans' words made it bearable for him. I think that was a strong suit. I think his leadership is always strong. I mean, he won Sorcerer's Apprentice 4. He's one of the leaders in the one sentence competition. He's been here since the Great Movie Ride competition, ironically, because we're in a movie challenge right now. So he's been here for a while. He's, one of the veterans of the forums. And then you also have Jokers, who is, I think this season, I only played with him in maybe 1 or 2 seasons. Well, because when I played, he was the host with you. It was like season 13, he was the co-host. But I've played with him in other competitions, and I know he has a busy schedule. And for him to make it this far, I think
When he's living in Japan on an entirely different time zone from everyone else.
12-hour different time zone, completely different schedule. And for him to, I mean, I put it in my soliloquy here that he basically played a complete game. I mean, there's points like we're at the final 5 now, and we're like, oh, Joker's is still here. I can't find anything he did wrong.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a tough choice between the two because, you have Ace who, when he's on, he's on. But I mean, I think he would say like he's had a lot of things come up in the middle where nothing to his fault or anything because real life comes first. But, that comes up. But Joker's, for all intents and purposes, aside from the one project in Project 7, where he was nominated with Nigel, he's been very consistent, one of the leaders on several teams, took the leadership role in Project 11. And for Project 12, he was the one who picked the artist. He was the one who pushed it. And so ultimately, kind of, it rests on his shoulders how good it is. I mean, even though Goofy was the PM, Jokers was the one who originally pitched the artist. So I think a lot of it rests on him. And I think he did the ride through and he did a video at the end along with Outbound. So I think my pick ultimately is going to be Jokers.
All right, which means Ace Astro, I'm so sorry, buddy. I'm so sorry. This is honestly a tragic elimination, my friend.
Not one that I wanted to make.
You are officially eliminated in 4th place, and more importantly, you are officially eliminated right before the Cats project. I'm so sorry, Ace.
That just means they have to convince me on the jury that their Cats project's worth it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair
Actually,
point.
he would be a very good judge of Cats projects.
He would. He would.
I think
So
we should
Ace,
just
man,
defer to him.
So Ace, you played a fantastic game this season. If you remember in the cast assessment, I said you were one of the wild cards. You were one of the people where it's like, you could either go into the end game or you could fizzle out quickly because of a personal schedule. And you went into the end game, my friend. You really did. Like you had, honestly, I think Ace, honestly, like one of the big things for you that Space didn't mention that I think did maybe kill your game a little bit was the whole Diamond Power of MVP shenanigans that were going on with Outbound and Ace. Because, of course, Ace, you made the conscious decision to not do much on the Final 6 project. And that is probably, I'm guessing, maybe where a lot of people were like, well, okay, I can't necessarily vote for Ace because he did clearly have kind of a sit out round. So I don't know, Ace, kind of a little bit of a sheer fucking hubris kind of situation there, don't you think?
I don't know. I stand by my decision.
All right.
Things got busy, and I'm
All right, so
I'm fine with the decision.
So Ace, I'm so sorry. I genuinely really wanted you on. I was rooting for you, but unfortunately, it was not in the cards. And honestly, like Team TMNT, like for me, it was probably between Ace and Goofy, just because I feel like Goofy was like probably the more surefire, like all around player. But Ace is definitely like we wanted to pick him just based on the just based on the cats of it all. But at the end of the day, that's how the cards fell. So fourth place, Ace, right before the semifinals. How do you feel?
Oh, I
Or
had a
right
feeling
before
it
the
was gonna be
final?
the case. It's all good.
Yeah.
And now I just get to be tough on them, right? No better person. Nobody knows cats more than me. So make it count.
All right, guys. So are you ready for the cats prompt?
Sorta.
All right. The title of the prompt is going to be appropriately called "How It's About Cats." Okay, so basically this prompt, this final project, for the longest time until like a couple weeks ago, the prompt was to take a single IP and make a theme park around it. Well, what you guys
Oh my
need to know
gosh.
is
No.
that we picked
No.
we picked the IP for you,
No.
and you guys are designing a cat's park.
Oh my gosh.
A full, like, forget about a cat's attraction or a cat's land. You guys are designing a full-on cat's theme park. And I don't want to see any cheapening out. I don't want to see like, oh, well, this land is based on the stage play and this land is based on the T.S. Eliot poems. No, fuck all that noise. This whole park has to be Cats 2019, goddammit.
Oh my gosh.
Cats 2019 all the way. As far as realism is concerned, obviously it's a really outlandish idea, so don't worry about, like justifying it in the real world unless you want to come up with some crazy solution of like I did for my Spies in Disguise hotel of like, oh my god, the world is ending and Spies in Disguise is the salvage of humanity.
Well, that actually might be relevant now.
Right. But but seriously though, basically what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for unique attractions. I'm looking for different settings, which is obviously going to be difficult with cats. I'm looking for technology. I want to see what technology you have in place to recreate these nightmare hell spawns. And I want to see realism in terms of placement, in terms of technology, like it has to flow, you know what I mean? It can't just be like a giant park for the sake of being a giant park. It has to flow together. And yeah, that's it. So
that's all.
Who's excited?
Oh my gosh.
I'm excited to see what they come up with.
I have but one reaction.
Oh god.
Nice. He's left
boy.
the chat.
Goofy, how you
Cats has
feeling?
entered the chat.
Oh man, I haven't seen it because I know how bad it is. So, oh my gosh, this is gonna be brutal.
Cats the park. Cats the park. Okay. Outbound is really Dragon is really rooting for you at Outbound.
Yeah, I think Outbound's the fan favorite too.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if I'm being honest with you, I think that Outbound, I'm going to call you out a little bit, buddy. I know you're not here, but buddy, I think that my problem with your game and why you didn't get my vote in the TMNT vote is that I feel like Outbound this whole season has been playing essentially like a more sophisticated version of Basket Buddies gameplay. Whereas Basket Buddies gameplay is essentially like latch on to people through the concept art and through the presentation styles and make yourself invaluable that way. Now, Outbound absolutely has more leadership qualities to him than Basket Buddy did in his prime. Because really, Basket Buddy would use the presentation stuff as a crutch, and he fully admitted it. But with Outbound, that's one thing that I want to see from him. I really want to see him like kind of spread his wings, and obviously I'm expecting some technology from him. I want to see some interpersonal dynamics too. And speaking of interpersonal dynamics, guys, Team Prospero has not been broken up. Team Prospero, you guys will be working on this final project on Team Prospero as a final 3. It's one group project. It's not going to be...
Oh, wait, seriously?
Yeah, it's not going to be individual projects.
Oh, thank goodness. Oh, my gosh.
So we've had the emphasis on teamwork the whole season. We're going to continue that emphasis. The final 3 is going to work together in one big team to create this thing. I am going to go ahead and have the Cats Park due on Monday. On Monday, August 31st, so at the very end of the month. In addition to that, one thing I really want to do for the final 3, just in terms of emphasizing their overall season-long game and not just their work on the Cats project, is I really want to have a jury question and answer session where we just bring all the final 3 in, we bring the jury members in, and I want it to be like as close to a survivor final tribal council as possible with, just like with like a back and forth discourse going on. Questions flying everywhere, contestants being able to give their rebuttals to the questions, jury members being able to give their responses to the rebuttals. Definitely want an active dialogue. And I want you guys to think of the Cats project as essentially your the final on an exam. But I want you guys to think of the jury question and answer segment, and I want you guys to start formulating, what you're going to say in that. That is definitely going to be like you're in to win, if you get what I'm saying. Like I feel like that is really going to be where you guys have a chance to prove yourselves directly to the people that are going to be casting their votes to win. Make no mistake, TMNT is not going to be involved at all in the decision-making process of who wins. It's only going to be the jury. It's all going to come down to the folks that you guys worked with throughout the season, and in some ways, the folks that you guys had a hand in getting eliminated. So yeah, very promising stuff here. Any questions or final thoughts or anything, gentlemen?
I'm dying to see what they come up with here.
I'm speechless.
Yeah,
Man, if only the final 3 had someone on it who loved watching cats. No.
I think the jury should come up with a project of dog park.
Oh my
Just to see
god.
how it can be.
Are you blind in the born? Do you see in the dark?
Dog with a blog.
Dog
Oh
with-
dear. No, you guys
That
should come
already
up with a park based on rats, the Hey Arnold parody of cats.
Or ants.
Right.
I think I'll do an ants park.
Oh god. Right. Well, thank you guys so much. The final 3 is officially Jokers, Outbound, and Goofyyukyuk. And I gotta say, as much as I would have liked to see Ace there, I think this is a very appropriate final 3. I think all 3 of these people in their own ways are powerhouses. Obviously, yes, Sharon and Susan, I saw that you mentioned Pluto Nash. Thank you. I hope that's Sharon and Susan. I think it is. I am air. Yeah, I thought so. So we have Outbound, who's just like the king of presentation, and I feel like Outbound's kind of been dominating the strategic game this season. We have Goofyyukyuk, who I definitely feel has been dominating this social game this season. I feel like his social game is on a roll. He's won more PO MVPs than anyone. He's on everyone's good side. And then we have Jokers, who is just a very, very consummate professional, in spite of working halfway around the globe. He has shown up to play every single time. He's never given a bad performance in any individual project. And in spite of the fact that he's kind of the antithesis of Ace when it comes to cats, I know that as soon as I posted that little preview, his mind has been bouncing around with ideas. So, should be an interesting one. All right. Well, guys, thanks so much for joining me. This has been a great show. I wish that we could have done it while Jokers was, still available. I wish that I hadn't slept through some of it. I apologize. I apologize on the scheduling snafu. But we did it. Ace, apologies once again for missing out on the finals.
Oh, that's all good. I'm just gonna go watch Cats for fun instead.
All right. Ace, would you like to plug the project that you're working on that's coming out tomorrow?
Yeah, so tomorrow over on the Defunctland channel, Halix live from the stage comes out, which is a documentary about a off Star Wars rock band that played for one summer and one summer only, then disappeared. And so that comes out tomorrow. It's about 90 minutes, and it's really good. I watched it again today, and I think lots will love it.
Looking forward to that, and we will be doing a podcast on that soon. All right. Thanks to Space for coming on and making your call. I appreciate it. I know the pressure was on for you.
It was, but I think it worked. It'll work out for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right. See you guys later. Have a good night. McCavity!